shock, outrage, and disappointment are really spreading across this campus. A portion of the 94 is still closed. I, too, have a huge hole in my ceiling at the moment from El Nino. The soak zone isn't going anywhere. I have to point this out. This is a true Southern California guy. You are in shorts. I had surgery on camera to help raise awareness.
They paid for the beer with a traveler's check.
Man falls from
They
ladder
got
and breaks
mad when
his
I
arm.
told
I'm
them I
going to send
couldn't take a
EMS.
traveler's check
But at the
unless
same
they
time,
had a
I'm
current
still hearing
driver's
this call
license.
from the
And
convenience
the
store
guy with
clerk.
the travel.
It reads war. Oahu bombed by Japanese planes. Meth remains a prominent drug on the streets of San Diego. With the high tide, only a few feet remain. It's an exclusive party for our San Diego 6 viewers. Photographer Jeremy should get far away.
In the hands of the jury to determine if they believe her.
Wow, okay.
One of the final steps in the process is putting on the label. After the Jane Doe in this case testified, she threw her arms around her mom outside of court. The smell of smoke here at this mobile home is still lingering in the air. Already 22,000 San Diegans are registered to join the march downtown. Reporting on Mount Laguna, Jenny Day, CW6 News. There were so many things about this case that didn't add up. Broken windows, but no glass. Gunshot wound, but no gun. A woman presumably shot while behind the wheel, but the car parked neatly on the side of the freeway. Today, in our exclusive report, those questions are answered. It was a warm mid-June morning. A black Mercury Sable was spotted pulled over on an I-15 on-ramp. Inside, the body of Elizabeth Perez. Her boyfriend, Edward Long, is now charged with her murder. Police believe she was shot and killed here in his garage after locking herself in her car to get away from him.
This case is unusual. It does stand out, largely because of how it materialized. I mean, this is it's an absolute tragedy, and it truly is an absolute murder mystery from the very beginning.
The first thing that didn't make sense to investigators, how Perez got to the side of the road. They now believe Long sat on his dead girlfriend's lap in the driver's seat and ditched the car about 6 hours after he shot her. It wasn't until almost 1 o'clock that afternoon that someone walked up to the car and made the gruesome discovery.
One of the things that was odd about the case at the beginning was the position that she's in a reclined spot, her seat position compared to where she would be if she was driving.
CW6 has learned Perez and Long got into an argument and she locked herself in her car, pulled out her cell phone and began recording. Police transcripts describe the video showing Long bashing a pair of pliers against her windows, trying to get in. Perez can be heard telling him her camera is rolling and he tried to hide his face. Then the video stops.
We spent a great deal of time going through his home, going through the garage, and collected several pieces of evidence that really helped kind of close this case.
Detectives say the garage looked as though it had been scrubbed clean, but some small pieces of glass were found on the floor, and a stray bullet was lodged in the wall. Meanwhile, Long fled to Las Vegas, where police pulled him over. He had already secured an apartment there and filled it with furniture and belongings, seemingly ready to start a new life with another longtime girlfriend. Long is being held on $2 million bail and faces 25 years to life if convicted.
It's rewarding to be given the privilege of speaking for someone who can no longer speak for themselves. There's nothing that we can do at this point to bring this woman back. The most that we can hope to do is seek justice.
An intense job fit for a very specific person, calm, compassionate, and quick.
911 emergency.
I was given the opportunity to see what the person on the other end of your 911 phone call encounters.
I know the last time I called, it turned out to be something really big. A homicide or something.
So as she's giving me all of this information, there's also other emergencies popping up here, and I have to dispatch whoever I believe is be the best fit. This test, all 175 questions, is the first line of defense to find out if you have what it takes.
She must be drugged out or something because she keeps talking to herself.
There really is like a lot happening at one time.
Hi, this is Sally Malone again.
Yeah, smoke is seen coming from the window of the middle school. I'm going to send fire.
14 different exams in all, ranging from map reading and spelling to data entry and memory recall.
A telephone caller reports a woman lying in the gutter bleeding.
In these real-life scenarios, you're given just 15 seconds to determine whether the caller needs police, fire, medical, or utility. And the license plate number or address, you're given just once.
They paid for the beer with a traveler's check.
Man falls from
They
ladder
got
and
mad
breaks
when
his
I
arm.
told
I'm
them I
going to send
couldn't take a
EMS.
traveler's check
But at the
unless
same
they
time,
had
I'm
a
still
current
hearing
driver's
this call
license.
from the
And
convenience
the
store
guy
clerk.
with the traveler's
Departments across the county are hiring, and there's pressure to answer calls more quickly. It's good pay, but 1/3 don't make the cut.
Well, I got half of his license plate number. Is that good enough? Probably not.
Emergency Services dispatcher Kristen Peterson did pass and finds the work rewarding.
They're in need of help. Nobody calls 911 when they're having a good day, so I'm always helping somebody.
Peterson understands firsthand why answering the phone can be traumatizing.
We hear a lot of domestic violence related calls, so those are always tough as well, and sometimes it's the children who are calling in to report it. So again, my job is just to stay calm and comfort them until deputies can get them help.
The exam is pass-fail. Some questions require speed. Other results are based on the percentage of correct answers.
I can take it. I can take it.
So unfortunately, you were unsuccessful in passing this test today.
In my defense, I only failed 2 out of the 14 sections. My lack of 10-key knowledge required me to hunt and peck for numbers and really slowed me down.
I passed map reading.
Yes. Sentence
Shocking.
clarity and reading comprehension, you all passed.
So much pressure. Speed and accuracy can mean life or death. Rewarding to be that voice of reason, though, and the reassurance that help is on its way. But being a dispatcher, not for everyone.
Well, I guess I'll stay in TV news.
Scott Morgan's heart almost stopped.
I can see how people give up and don't want to live because you're just tired.
At just 52, diagnosed with congestive heart failure, but the tightness in his chest dates back to his 20s.
I would get sharp chest pains, and then I would get real dizzy.
At 6'8", the clock was ticking. His requirements for a donor were great, needing someone with his rare B blood type and at least 6'3", 240 to match a heart his size. After all, it has 1 wife, 4 kids, and 9 grandkids to love. Tough to go back to that time he thought he'd have to say goodbye.
Sometimes you feel like a burden for the family, so you get, so I wanted to make videos for all my grandkids, and luckily I didn't have to get to that point.
A battery-operated device called an LVAD was implanted into his heart and extended his life just long enough to get a transplant.
The only thing that they've told me, it's a male and 33 years old.
Scott is Sharp Memorial's 400th heart transplant recipient. We were there for his first echo.
I got a nice scar, and I got a couple little holes, and I got like a bullet wound. It looks like another belly button where the wire came out for the LVAD. So I'm good. I'm sexy as ever.
Scott was told a new ticker could take 3 to 6 years, but he ended up being on the transplant list less than 1 year. Scott continues to search for the words that match his gratitude. He hopes to one day meet the donor's family.
Whatever they want to do, if they want to hear the heart, if they want to, I'd like to give them a hug and tell them thank you, whatever. But, it's up to them, It's where I'm at, I'm good. I'm getting better all the time, and it's because of what happened, and their loved one, kept me going.
4 months post-op, he's back to being grandpa.
Maybe I'll live another 30 years with this heart.
That summer sun and cool ocean breeze calling your name. Beach is expected to be packed this weekend, so it never hurts to remind you of what to look out for.
Look out right here, we'll see where the waves are breaking and where they're not breaking. So where they're not breaking, it's deep water. So waves break in shallow parts of the beach.
So where it's calm, that's the most dangerous place.
Yes, it is. It's very deceiving.
80% of the rescues are directly related to rip currents, and swimming conditions could be hazardous through the 4th.
You can swim parallel to the beach. It depends on your location and how close the sandbar is. The biggest thing is just to remain calm, Don't panic. If you need assistance, just raise your hand. We'll come out and get you.
Sometimes you may think being in water up to your knees is a safe bet, but even in water that shallow, a strong rip current can knock you off your feet and start pulling you out to sea.
And all of a sudden, you're going from knee-deep water all the way up to neck-deep water.
Parents, don't let your guard down. Make sure your kids know your name and what tower number you're sitting by. It's happened to all of us. You get in the water and next thing you know, you're halfway down the beach without even realizing how strong the currents were.
Parents need to look out for the kids the whole entire day. Don't doze off. Kids can walk away super easily, especially on a crowded day. For example, one kid got lost and was a mile down the beach last weekend.
Enjoy it. Just be smart. It's not an accident the Alva family set up right in front of the lifeguard tower.
We actually talked to the lifeguards this morning about where's the safe spot to swim with our kids.
And at home, you are the lifeguard. At-home drownings have skyrocketed, making it the second leading cause of accidental death of children in the U.S.
Usually when someone drowns, they can just slide underneath the water and no one will really notice until they're doing a head count.
He's right. Drowning is silent. It's not the screaming for help and thrashing like you might assume. And it can happen as quickly as it takes to answer the phone or doorbell.
It's a life skill that I think everyone should know because we're surrounded by water. It's very important just to start at an early age. So when you get on older as an adult, you already know the basics. We start lessons at 6 months of age and we go all the way to adults.
Now on these busy holiday weekends, every single one of these lifeguard towers will be staffed, and even though there is a trash can every few feet, you know how quickly they can fill up. So plan ahead so that we can keep our beaches beautiful and not threaten any of these animals who live in the sea. For now, we are live in Mission Beach. Jenny Day, CW6 News.